I don't know if you've seen the latest theological dust up online, but Kirk has come out and created a firestorm. And actually, this is one of my favorite topics to discuss because it's a real issue in the church. Now, what am I talking about? Kirk came out several days ago talking about how he's shifted theologically from a belief in eternal conscious torment in hell for those who die without Christ into more of an annihilationist standpoint. And I can respect that. Kurt, kudos to you. Here's the deal. Most Christians don't know this, especially in the West. There are three actual beliefs in church history on what happens to the lost when they die: eternal conscious torment in hell, annihilationism, and universal reconciliation. Now, we have to do something that most Western Christians don't like to do, and that is go back and look at the early church and see what was being taught then. Now, a lot of people say, Sean, I don't need the early church. I've got the Bible. The problem with that is most of you who got the Bible don't read the Bible in the context nor in the original language, and that leads you to things that just aren't true. It is what it is. Here's the deal. Here's what we know. This is factual. In the early centuries of the church, from the time of Christ till about 350, maybe 400 AD, there were 6 schools of theology. They were in Rome, different parts of the Roman Empire. But those 6 schools of theologies, 4 taught universal reconciliation. What is universal reconciliation? That God is in Christ reconciling the world to himself, that all things, including the lost, will be reconciled to God, that yes, there is a hell, but hell is remedial. It is not retributive. It is redemptive in nature, because God's judgment is always redemptive in nature, and that all things will be made right, that God's enemies will be made his friends, all of those good things. 4 of the schools out of the 6 taught universal reconciliation as the founding belief in the church of what happens to the lost when they die. 1 kind of leaned at universal reconciliation, and 1 taught eternal conscious torment in hell. That was in Rome. That was the Roman one. And here's where it gets interesting, because if you study the early church, in the early years, as a matter of fact, I believe it was Augustine, I'll have to go back and double check, I'll do a long form video on this, taught or said that many believe in the universal reconciliation route. So what I want you to understand is that there's more than one option of what happens for people when they die. There's 3, and it's been 3 historically in church history. I'm going to do a long form video on it, hopefully this weekend. If you like this kind of content, you want to debate it in the comments, let's go. Let's do it. Like, subscribe, share, and we will talk about this later.